Welcome to All Horse Racing All the Time. I'm your host, Al, with another episode of Betting on Horse Racing for Beginners. And today we're going to be talking about choosing a track to play, the best days to play, and also why Aqueduct Racetrack especially in the winter, is a great track to play for beginners. So you've decided to play the races. You're interested in learning about the game, the ins and outs of it, how to pick horses, handicapping. Well, one of the first places to land on once you've decided that you want to get involved with horse racing, or at least give it a shot recreationally, is choosing the best track to play and the best tracks for beginners. So there's so many options out there, so many racetracks. They race 7 days a week here in America. Where do you go from here? To get started, you don't want to overwhelm yourself when you're playing, when you're learning the game. So when I say choosing in the title, choosing a racetrack to play, when I mean that singular, choosing one track to get started. You don't want to be bouncing from track to track, have your head spinning when you're learning the game from the beginning, right? So you want to choose a track that offers you good opportunities to learn and also good opportunities to win. I suggest this, and this is the way I started, and I've really taken off from there. It was a great starting point, landing on a single track to get familiar with. I know it's tempting to look at other tracks. Choose a track that runs that you can get familiar with, that offers good opportunities. What are good opportunities? Well, good opportunities to win. For starters, you want to choose a good track that has smaller field sizes. So you have less moving parts to be concerned with when you're getting familiar with the handicapping strategies, getting familiar with the game, your wagering opportunities. So you want to pick a track that doesn't have too many starters. When you think of some of the larger tracks that have gigantic fields, sure, they pay more money, but they're very, very challenging because you got a lot of horses, big fields. A Turfway Park comes to mind, or a Gulfstream has some big fields in the winter. During their season, track horses coming in from out of town. You want to pick a track. When you're choosing your track as a beginner, you want to pick a track that has small, not tiny fields, but smaller fields, not gigantic fields. And also a track that has a lot of horses that run there on a regular basis. So you can get familiar with the horses. You have information to work with. You don't have a lot of horses shipping in from out of town and to be concerned with surface switches. You'll learn about that stuff as time goes by, but now you're starting out. So you want to give yourself a chance to score while you are learning at the game at the same time. So look for a track with smaller field sizes. Not too small, but smaller field sizes. Don't go off after the tracks with a ton of entries in those races. And so you'll have a track. You see the track. You go to the DRF. You look at your entries, and you can choose tracks that have smaller field sizes. And I'll help you from there further down the way on this video. Now, what are the best days to play? So you have when you're starting out. So you got a track with smaller field sizes, and you have now which day is the best day to play. The best days to play, especially this time of year, is in the winter, between Thursday and Sunday are typically the best days to play. Why? Because those are the days that the better tracks in America start running their races for the week, towards the weekend. Aqueduct, for example, runs Thursdays through Sundays. And that has a track with manageable field sizes. And another thing about the Thursday through Sunday tracks is they have tracks running that have big handle sizes and good talent. Handle sizes means a lot of money is going into the pools, so your pools aren't going to swing drastically like they would at a tiny track that runs on a Monday and Tuesday. And that brings us back to Aqueduct again. They have some of the biggest handles in America, even during the winter when they have smaller pool sizes. When they have smaller entries, but they have a large handle, one of the larger handles every day from Thursday through Sunday. And they have repeat performers. A lot of tracks that have horses that have track record at that track. So you can see when you're handicapping, how do you do here the last time? How do you do at the distance? You have information to work with a lot of the horses. So Thursday to Sunday, that's your best days. You say, what about Al? What about Mondays and Tuesdays? Well, Mondays and Tuesdays, you have some tracks, some tiny tracks, and Finger Lakes come to mind where you have a lot of races with a very small handle where the odds can swing drastically and drive you nuts, and very low payouts. And they have, I'm talking about smaller field sizes when choosing a track. I mean, sometimes this track has 5 horses or so. It's very small. It's too small, and it's not a good gauge for you to learn the game and learn it favorably and get a good representation of horse racing at real tiny tracks on Monday and Tuesdays, and sometimes Wednesdays in the winter. So stick to the Thursday days for choosing your track to play. Smaller field sizes, big handle, okay, the money that's going in. So your betting is going to be honest for the most part, not wild odd swings, as wild anyway as after the gates open. And also you have the talent there, and you'll have a better shot to win and learn the game. And another thing to do, consider when playing the races, choosing a track, is choosing a track where you can get the simulcast presented online somewhere for free, where you get to hear the analysts, learn from them. I'm not saying use their picks, but listen to what they say when they talk about the history of the horse or the facts about the race. You can listen to that. Find a track that has a simulcast where they cover the races. So you actually have a place where you can watch the track exclusively, see all the races unfold. And that's another reason why Aqueduct is a terrific track, especially in the winter for beginners. They have the America's Day at the Races on YouTube, where you can see every single race right there. And you can see all their analysts, who they like. So you got great coverage. You don't have to worry about going on a witch hunt to find the track, find your races covered. So that's another reason. Some other tracks have it too, but Aqueduct is one that you can rely on there. From their own websites, they put a full simulcast of the entire card out there for free every day on YouTube. So you have your racetrack. You have your, you know the best days to play, where you have some tracks with even smaller fields, but they have big handles and offer opportunities to learn the game without basically drinking from a fire hose, getting overwhelmed in the beginning, and with tons of horses and gigantic fields. And I mean, those are tracks that are very hard for experienced players to win at, let alone beginners. So you want to start off, get your sea legs at a track that's playable. And another reason I like Aqueduct for beginners is they offer some wagering. They offer you the $1 daily doubles, the $1 exacta plays, the 50-cent trifecta plays. They offer quinella plays for $1 in the second and fourth races every day. So, and you can just play for as little as $1. Maybe you just want to test a race with $1. Say, okay, $1 exacta 2-1. Enter it, boom, it's in. It takes it. Some tracks you try playing exacta for $1. They say no. It's $2 minimum. Meaning, well, you got to use. You can't just play a straight exacta. If you wanted just one on top, you'd have to say 1/2-3 to make it get up to the $2 minimum, and that takes. Aqueduct offers you can do that, or you can play $1 to win, place, or show. But they offer excellent opportunities there for the beginner. So that's why I believe that's a very good track to play And that's the track that I learned on, and took off from there. And eventually I graduated to playing either multiple tracks or playing different tracks and taking on the larger fields. In fact, when they first got started, when I first started playing over there, and say there was a 7-horse field, I was thrilled when there were a couple of scratches and it knocked the field size down to 5, because then I could really pigeonhole a winner, a winning exacta there with only a few horses. So yeah, the payouts weren't going to be as big, but at least in the beginning I was cashing, right? And that would open the door for playing some other things in smaller fields, like maybe a 50-cent trifecta. But that's, you see what I mean, right? Give yourself a chance going in, because you got a lot going on. You're learning how to handicap the game. We're going to be talking about your PPs, your DF, RF, and how to get started with those. But first, we'll take care of first things first. Seeing that you enjoy horse racing, learning learning a little bit about the angles by watching some of these simulcasts without betting. Then you go on to say, okay, what tracks offer the best opportunities? And then when you're ready to go with the tracks, then you want to get some data out there. What data are you going to use besides just the people and just from your own eyes, and learn how to read it from the beginning. And reading the DRF, or where to purchase the DRF, that'll probably be a multiple part of this series here. Betting on horse racing for beginners, because there's so much to cover about the DRF, and you don't want to take it all at once. You don't want to be overwhelmed and say, holy crap, what have I gotten myself into? So that's in a nutshell here, choosing a track, some of the important factors to keep in mind. If you want to take on a different track, if you want to play another track besides Aqueduct, another one is more convenient for you, keep those same parameters in mind. Choosing a track that the field sizes aren't too big, preferably a track that runs somewhere in the best days between Thursday and Sunday, and maybe in the summer, Wednesday and Sundays, where some of the bigger tracks are running. They start running Wednesday through Sunday instead of Thursday through Sunday. So choose a track that has a decent size handle, the larger handle, not the ones that have tiny handles. Choose a track that has not too big of a field sizes for you beginners out there. And also keep Aqueduct in mind, because no matter where you live in the country, you can get them on YouTube, America's Day at the Races. And another thing too, maybe you have a local track you want to get started with. Maybe you want to play a track with a little bit larger of a field. I can take it on. I'll be a hero. And my local newspaper covers it. I get whatever city you live in, you have a local paper. And a lot of these tracks in the country, they have a racing column where you get the odds in the paper and you can see what the analyst in the paper says about the horses. And so maybe it makes it easy to follow the races that way. Oh, I know the odds in advance. So whatever works for you, but keep that in mind. Don't try and overwhelm yourself early on. So I hope that helps you. If you have any horse racing friends, beginners especially, or out there that you think might enjoy the show, let them know about it. Because I also do live shows covering horse racing for an entire card. For example, right now I'm covering Turfway Park, and but I do other tracks as well. Right now in the winter here, 2024, Turfway Park, I go out there live covering analysis, picks, and plays with open discussion, open chat for every single race. We get out there at 5:30 and post time is 5:55 p.m. Eastern time. We're out there giving selections and why for every single race analysis. Every single race as a card unfolds. So we do live shows as well as pre-recorded shows here. Horse racing, betting on horse racing for beginners, this series. Sometimes I do some on horse racing news or other topics, maybe a handicapping show. So let your horse racing friends know about it if you think they would like something like this. It's an opportunity for them not only to improve their game, but also to share their wisdom with others as well. And if you like this show, feedback is always appreciated. Hit the like button. And I hope this video helps you get started if you're a beginner out there. Believe me, if you lay the groundwork and in the learning process, you can be winning at the races in less time than you would think. It's as long as you have you set the groundwork right and you don't get overwhelmed. This can be done. So have a great day, everybody. If you're playing the races, best of luck today and bring it home. And remember, may the horse always be with you.